All right, hey guys, what's going on? My name is Chris Hawkes, and this is your Best Life Defined. God, I don't think I could have picked a better day to do this podcast. So I woke up this morning. We're staying in Colorado, and we were planning on staying in Colorado where we're at right now until, well, probably until July 5th. That was our plan. Then we're going to head out to north. We go through South Dakota and hit Wisconsin, come down on top of Michigan, in the Upper Peninsula, spend some time there, then go into Grand Rapids and spend time with my daughter, my son-in-law, and my grandbaby. So everything's cool, and all of a sudden I get this email, and what the owner has said is that because I didn't get back with them in a timely manner, I have to be out by the end of May. And I'm thinking, tailspin. Tailspin. And there's some reasons why. It was because I missed an email, but we'd had previous conversations that led me to believe there was nothing I needed to do. I'd said I'd give them notice when we were ready to go, and that was fine with them at the time. But all of a sudden, 7 months into this stay or 6 months into the stay, wherever we're at, time to move. So we're heading out. We're going to head over to the Western Slope, spend some time with my son and his family. And it's kind of nice. It'll be nice. But, that's the not easy part of life. You're cruising along, you're there doing your thing, and out of the blue, some crap happens, something that's beyond your control, and you're like, and it's not really a big inconvenience. I mean, it's not like I have to do much. I mean, it's a little work getting ready to move, but I was going to move my rig anyway, and it's got wheels, and we have all this stuff we do, but it's just that unexpected kind of sets you off, and it's kind of funny because I still do have a dark side to me as far as my temper goes. Things kind of get me going. I'm thinking, well, I want to be respected and I want you to treat me fairly, and what I really value is strong communication. If you're thinking something and you see me 3 times a week, maybe it wouldn't take much just to step up, say, hey, what's up? Listen, I think we're going to do this. Where are you at? I haven't heard from you about what your plans are beyond May, the end of May. But I've been easy, but throws you off, throws a curveball into that rhythm of life where you expect everything's going to work out, right? What's funny about that is this brings to light what the topic of this podcast is. I look around and I see people and they're doing what they're doing, and they look back at me and they see what I'm doing, and I know I've given this story that everything in my life is amazing and this life is perfect. And it's not so much that it's perfect from the standpoint of everything goes my way, obviously. With this notification I got today, I'm getting kicked out of my RV park. But it isn't easy. There are things that have to be done now that we're moving. I have to do the maintenance stuff, and you think, man, that's kind of threw a curveball in my plans. My plans were to go play today, and all of a sudden it pushed all those things that I was planning on doing in June back a month, right? So that sucks, but. So when that happens, what's the solution? When life hands you crap, or even when life doesn't hand you crap, let's just say that your plan is to improve your life, because that's what this is about, right? It's about me having a conversation with you that'll help you improve your life. Let's say that you want to improve your life. What does that look like? Well, when it comes to not being easy, it comes to the fact that life is struggle. We are not designed to just live a leisurely life on this earth. Now, what's funny is I often had this perception that the people who have abundance in one form or the other, they have a lot of money, they have a lot of stuff, they appear to be successful. If you look at the history of people in that category, right? Look at how many of them have experienced tragedy and struggle in their life. Look at how many of them have committed suicide. You have drug addiction. There is alcohol addiction. There are all kinds of stories of famous people who appear to have it all and to have these easy lives falling apart, right? Why am I bringing this to your attention? It's happening to everyone. You're not alone. You're not alone, and for you to believe that the guy next to you who has more than you is living their dream life, they're not either. That storyline, those timelines of how great our life is. Show me the timeline of waking up in the morning. How about this? I'm going to challenge you on your social media page here, because I want to push something out here. Set up your camera and do a live feed of you waking up and crawling your butt out of bed, Or maybe set your camera up and before you walk out of the bedroom, turn it on and then take a video of you and have a nice conversation with the world on your Facebook feed about how great your life is. Because it's not. I wake up and I'm energized. It's a lot more rewarding because amid the struggle, like doing the podcast, they're all self-imposed. I don't have to go to work because I worked my ass off and I endured the sacrifice it took for me to actually be sitting where I am financially. I ground out 23 and a half years working in a federal prison, and I was able to escape that with a retirement. And that was the crap sandwich I ate every day in order for me to have this benefit. This was a long-term dream for me. And what's funny is, if you think about it, Sandy and I aren't even supposed to be here. We started, she was 16, I'm 18. I did a lot of things I probably should have been in prison. Work in construction, and out of the blue, I get some harebrained idea that I'm going to be a cop. I'm going to work at the Colorado Department of Corrections. That was my ultimate goal. That was where this whole effort that launched my life was headed, right? And it sucked. It sucked. It wasn't easy. I was working 12 hours a day, if not more, because I'd have to study for college. And I was giving away 16 hours a weekend to the sheriff's department. And if you're thinking, well, what the hell does this have to do with me or with living your best life? Well, it's about the idea of where you are. See, if you're sitting still right now, if you're not working towards anything, or even if you are, but you're just struggling at it, maybe your job isn't going right. Maybe your relationship isn't going right. The reality that you need to face if you're interested in living a better life or improving that segment of your life is to accept that it's not going to be easy. Even now, I have an amazing relationship. I never imagined that I would actually find myself in conversations with my wife where it's like they're difficult conversations, but we get through it and it's easier. There's not the same residual pain and struggle that we used to face. It was because we told ourselves, we had a conversation, we said we can't do it this way anymore. This way isn't working, right? We started climbing out of that hole. And what's bad is it's not easy for a couple of reasons, but one of the biggest reasons is when you jump into a new way of communicating with your partner, that becomes familiar real quickly. I mean, those moments when I decide to hold back and to spend some time not forming an opinion and react in the way I used to, that catches your partner off guard. It does. Sandy's standing there. She's like, what the hell? Who are you? I remember the first time I did it. I told her, I'm not going to interact with you anymore this way. I'm getting away with the anger. I'm putting all my shields down, all those things I used to protect myself. I'm going to stop throwing stones at you. I'm going to adopt a new policy, a simple policy of kindness, be empathetic. Well, so I start doing that and it's working. I mean, Sandy is like, she's coming out of her shell. She's starting to incorporate the same principles. She listens to Brené Brown's book, The Power of Vulnerability, and we're on this path to growth. The double-edged sword to this thing is that when I don't act that way, when I default back to the person I used to be, because it happens, you're gonna go along no matter where you are, especially in your relationship and in your life. You're gonna pick something and you're gonna get into it and you're gonna be grinding forward on it, and then something's gonna happen, and all of a sudden the old you is going to show up, and you're gonna be like, oh man, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this, right? That's the not easy part. When it comes to your relationship, when you turn back into that person you used to be after being someone wonderful, after being what I refer to as Mr. Irresistible, because I'm irresistible. Ask my wife. Not always, but I try to be. It magnifies the bad behavior. When I'm over there being silent and I'm all walled up, got my shields all up, oh, it just magnifies it. My wife not only, and Sandy doesn't only sit over there and look at me and feel the hurt of how I treated her, but it's compounded because she remembers how I felt when I treated her this new way, this different way, this way that we have agreed works, right? Not easy. It's not easy. I show up every day and I think to myself, yesterday was a bomb day. The last few days I've been just dying, falling apart with this whole thing about, well, does this make sense? Am I good enough, right? And what it partly it comes down to is it comes down to owning it. It comes down to owning it. I've come to the realization today I'm out walking and I'm thinking about how much struggle I had yesterday and the day before, and even the day before that. I got like 900 takes for 3 podcasts, right? And I'm over there, let's just suck in. Right? This is just not this thing. That's not how it's supposed to go, right? But then I realized it's not supposed to be easy. This is me trying to connect with you on a personal level to where you say, yeah, okay, I kind of like him. He's a little bit irritating. He's kind of a bully. I got my bully coming out every once in a while. It's not easy. But today I learned something. I learned that, you know what, I'm owning this. And we'll talk about that in another podcast. But the moment I said, you know what, I'm good enough, the moment I said, hey, listen, I'm going to do this, not because of what you think, and granted, you're my audience, I'm trying to affect change in your life, but I can't spend any time thinking about what you think, because all of a sudden, guess where I default to? I default to the worst. Oh, I suck. I suck. And I listen to every one of my podcasts. Actually, I probably listen to each one of my podcasts at least 3 times because of the editing process. You go through them 3 times, or at least I do, partly just to ask myself, am I full of crap? It's not easy. Well, bringing this back to you, enough about me. Let's talk about you. I'm doing everything I can to motivate you to make a decision. I show up here every day and I ask you questions, and I hope you're reflecting on the true answer to those questions, and I have a goal. I have a goal that at some point you're going to take action. Either you're going to pick something and you're going to say, okay, this is what I would like to change about my life. Because here's the bullshit story about this whole American dream thing and what we see on Facebook and social media. The majority of us spend way too much time getting our ass kicked by the life we create. There's way too many of us who wake up and think to ourselves, ugh, God, I wish today was over. When does it end? And what's ironic about it is we have these arbitrary dreams, these goals that have been set in this whole plan for us. We're somewhere down the road, somewhere we retire. Even in fact, it's funny, I still hear people discussing retirement like it's a reality, right? This generation coming up, these 15, 16, 17-year-olds, unless we don't change something, unless we don't develop in them the ability to achieve that goal and to face that struggle, there's a lot of our children who will never retire. They'll get too old to work and then they'll make do. You can pick something new, and what's really cool about it is you can pick it now. The problem is it's not going to be easy. Think about it. I show up here every day and I ask you questions and I say, hey, what would you like to do? What would make your life better? How could you improve the quality of your life? How can you live your best life, right? I show up here and I do this every day. And you're thinking to yourself, where am I going to fit it in? You already get up at 5:30 in the morning. You don't get home until 6 o'clock at night. You have kids to take care of. You have meals to prepare. You don't get any time to yourself. And it's just this perpetual grind. And then you got me showing, hey, bud, you living your best life? That's the hard part about it. That's the difficult part about it, is it's moving some stuff around, making some space so you can take something in your life in a new direction. So you can choose something that, no, it's not going to be easy, but it's worth it. It'll help you escape the thing you're doing right now, the thing about your life that you don't truly enjoy, or that you may not even like. You may wake up every day and you look at this one thing you do every day. It sucks. And a lot of times that's our job. You know, my job, working in the federal prison, it wasn't always a bad job, but it certainly wasn't always a great job, you know, running after inmates. I told Sandy and I were having the conversation, and there's something, the part I miss, it's kind of ironic. The part I missed the most was the charge where the radios blow up and there's an emergency and people are on the radio calling for assistance, and you're over there running to the fight. You're over there running to the emergency. Now, Let me give you some background on this just to clarify. In the Federal Bureau of Prisons, everybody is a guard first. Everybody learns how to be a correctional officer before they learn how to do anything else. Now, when they show up on the job, they do their other job. But when there's an emergency, guess what? You will suit up in riot gear. They will give you a baton. You will get in line and you will go kick some ass, right? That's just how it is, right? It wasn't easy. But it's cool because that was the thrill. That was a good part about it. Now, just so you know, that doesn't mean that I love beating up people. I don't. I was that guy that after we'd have a riot, I'd go around and talk to all the guys. I'd ask them, hey, how you doing? What's going on? You need anything? Got anything going on, right? Because the other side of it is that I was working to make their life better. I had communicated with these guys so long, spent so much time doing this, saying, hey, how you doing? How's your life coming along? Are you closer to freedom? What's the plan so you don't come back here? What's funny is no matter what you choose, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be like a walk in the park. Now, if you pick small and you pick right, it's better. So what? Maybe you have to show up a half hour early so that you can get out of work on time so that you can get to the gym and start working out. Because it'd be pretty cool to be in shape while you're working on living your best life, right? You don't want to show up in your best life and actually look like, in padunkadunk. I know self-image is important, right? Most people want to look good. So maybe that's what you need to do. Will it be easy? No. You'll have to make that commitment. You'll have to repeat that action long enough until it becomes habit, until it's just what you do. 4 o'clock represents you jumping in your car, going to the gym, getting your workout in before you go home and drink a beer or have a glass of wine. If you need to, make the glass of wine or that beer the reward for going to the gym. In fact, you could set it up. If this is, I don't know, you might not want to do this. Imagine, so you enjoy your beer, you enjoy your glass of wine, tie that activity, the gym, to your ability to have access to that thing, to a beer. There is nothing better than working my butt off, breaking a sweat, coming home, I'm hungry, and then next thing you know, I'm having a cold beer and I'm eating a burger. In fact, we did that yesterday. I had a hard-ass workout, and we don't eat out a lot. There's this great restaurant that's been around forever. It's called the L's Cigar Store in Canyon City, Colorado. And they have just one hamburger. It's a single, double, or triple. You can put egg on it. You can put jalapenos on it. Cold beer, cold tomato beer. There is not a beer in the world that tastes better than a moment like that. That can be your reward for the struggle you face. It has been for me in the past. I got to tell you, it has been for me. But the point I'm trying to make here, and the idea I want to get through to you, is that the process for success is the same. You choose something, you take action on something, and then you evaluate it to make sure, or to make adjustments, because I guarantee you, you're never going to be perfect the first time. I'm still not perfect. I got 316 podcasts, and I'm still over here floundering around trying to figure out the sound, trying to figure out this arrangement with the microphone. But the struggle is part of the reward, right? And it's about the mindset. It's about the mindset. It's not so much what you do, it's what you think about what you do, right? I'm sitting here, and the reason I'm doing this so well and I feel so good about it, and I don't know if you can hear it, but have a lot of confidence in my voice, is because in my mind, I've come to the realization that I am doing the best I can until I get better. And as long as I'm doing the best I can, that's good enough. Because the message is clear. It's a simple message. It's not always easy to be able to create a life where you get to spend more time doing what you love to do than what you have to do. But ultimately, that is the goal, right? That is the goal. So when you pick something, when you're sitting there and you're listening to this podcast, or in fact, I'm going to put you on the spot on this one. When you get done with this podcast, write something down on a piece of paper, something you're going to do, something you're going to do that will make a difference in your life. Write it down. And then every day before you go to bed, look at that piece of paper and ask yourself, what did I do today to get that done? And it's not going to be easy. But if you pick the right thing based on who you are, guess what happens? You benefit. It's connected to who you are. It gives you access to something you're currently not doing that you love to do that adds fuel to your tank. And without fuel to your tank, you can't go in your tank, you can't go anywhere. So, hey, listen, guys, I'm loving it. I'm feeling pretty good. I hope this sounds a little better than the last couple podcasts I did. Like I said, there's an up and down in this. I'm not perfect, but the thought is sound. The thought is correct. Wake up every day and find something in your life to be inspired about. And I guarantee it'll make the stuff you have to do, the struggle you face to have that ability to have that access in your life, it will make it worth it if you pick the right thing. And that's the goal, because God forbid you should wake up one day, be at the end of your life, and it's then that you realize that you could have lived a better life. So keep that in mind. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the follows. It's coming up. The numbers are coming up. I'm hoping that people are starting to connect with this message. I'm not going away. I hope you don't either. Let's not forget the kindness. And as always, just remember, today's your day. Make it a good one.